हरे कृष्ण। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामिति नामिने नमः आचार्यपादाय निताकृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथाधामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So today we will be discussing about Dhruva Maharaja's fight with the Yakshas. So Dhruva Maharaja's the story is given in Srimad Bhagavata Puranam, 4th canto, if I am not wrong, 10th chapter. So 4th canto, 10th chapter. So Dhruva Maharaja, he got the benediction from Narada Muni and he chanted the holy name of Lord Krishna, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and he performed penances and controlled his senses and he pleased Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu appeared and he gave him benediction. But Dhruva Maharaja, being satisfied by having darshan of Lord Vishnu, he did not want to take any benediction. But Dhruva Maharaja actually did penance to acquire a kingdom greater than his grandfather's. So Swayambhu Manu. So here Dhruva Maharaja, he is a small boy of 5 years old, Kshatriya's son. He was insulted by his stepmother, so he takes guidance from his mother, and then he goes to forest to find Lord Vishnu. And meanwhile Narada Muni comes there and guides Daksha, so Dhruva Maharaj, and he gives him mantra, and taking the initiation from taking initiation from Narada Muni, Dhruva Maharaja chants the holy name and continues for many years, and that time, continues for many months. Within 6 months, Lord Vishnu comes and blesses Dhruva Maharaj. So that story is there. Now after that, here Dhruva Maharaja became the king, and Dhruva Maharaja marries, and after that Dhruva Maharaja younger brother, his name is Uttama, who was still unmarried. So that from there we'll start. So Uttamastva akrutodvaho mrugayayam baliyasam hatah punya janendra janenadro tanmatasya gatim gatha. Dhruva Maharaja's younger brother Uttama, who was still unmarried, once went on a hunting excursion and was killed by a powerful Yaksha in the Himalaya mountains. Along with him, his mother Suruchi also followed the path of her son. She died. Dhruvo bhratrvadam srutva kopamarša sucharpitaha Jaitram syandanam astaya Gatah punya janalayam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So when Dhruva Maharaja heard of the killing of his brother Uttama by the Yakshas in the Himalaya mountains, being overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, he got on his chariot and went out for victory over the city of the Yakshas, Alakapuri. So purport. Dhruva Maharaja's becoming angry, overwhelmed with grief and envious of the enemies was not incompatible with his position as a great devotee. It is a misunderstanding that a devotee should not be angry, envious or overwhelmed by lamentation. Dhruva Maharaja was the king, and when his brother was unceremoniously killed, it was his duty to take revenge against the Yakshas from the Himalayas. So it is a duty of kings to go for hunting excursion, So Dhruva Maharaja's son, Dhruva Maharaja's younger brother Uttama went for a hunting excursion. Meanwhile, hunting, he was killed by yakshas who are powerful than human beings. So yakshas are no, some kind of demigods. They take care of all the wealths of the world. They are like Kuvera's assistants. They safeguard the wealth of this world. So yakshas are a little bit powerful than human beings. They are in Rajoguna, Tamoguna. So their food is all liquor, wine, meat, such as the foodstuffs of these yakshas. So yakshas, they reside near Himalayan mountains. Like we have Tibet, China, and then we have Nepal, no, like that. And we have in Kashmir side also. So like that, many places inhabited by yakshas, wealthy personalities. So one of the some of the yakshas has killed Uttama. So Dhruva Maharaja became angry by this. He was lamenting and he became very angry that his brother was killed. So he went on he got on his chariot and went out for victory over the city of yakshas, Alakapuri. So it is a duty of a king to protect the people. So since his brother was killed, it is his duty to punish the yakshas. So gatvo dichim disham raja rudranuchara sevitam dadarsha himavad dronyam purim guhyaka sankulam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Dhruva Maharaja went to the northern direction of the Himalayan range. In a valley he saw a city full of ghostly persons who were followers of Lord Shiva. Purport. In this verse it is stated that the yakshas are more or less devotees of Lord Shiva. By this indication, the yakshas may be taken to be the Himalayan tribes like the Tibetans. So now in the northern direction, if you go to Himalaya mountain, northern direction, so it is a full of ghostly persons who were followers of Lord Shiva. See, ghost means what? Ghost means it does not have a proper physical body. Ghost has mind, ghost has intelligence, ghost has ego, but it does not have a proper physical body consisting of earth, water, ether, air, fire, mind, intelligence, ego is a body, subtle body. So the ghostly persons are like they have subtle bodies. So actually they are the devotees of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is in charge of the mode of ignorance, and Lord Shiva is in charge of destruction. So these yakshas, being devotee of Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, so they are also involved in destroying things. Dadmau shankam bruhad bahuhu kam dishas chanunadayan yenodvigna drishah kshatr upadevyo trishan brushan. Translation. Maitreya continued. My dear Vidura, as soon as Dhruva Maharaja reached Alakapuri, he immediately blew his conch shell, and the sound reverberated throughout the entire sky and in every direction. The wives of the yakshas became very much frightened. From their eyes it was apparent that they were full of anxiety. So it is customary before raging a war on anybody, we have to inform them. So this blowing a conch shell is equivalent to that. We are giving a warning or information, providing information. As soon as Maharaja reached Alakapuri, he immediately blew his conch shell, and the sound reverberated throughout the entire sky and in every direction. So the wives of the yakshas became very much frightened. From their eyes it was apparent that they were full of anxiety. So before attacking somebody we have to inform them. So it's like this. So in this way Dhruva Maharaja went and he blew his conch shell, giving them a warning that he has entered. So the wives of the Yakshas become frightened by this sound. So tato niskrumya barina upadeva mahabataha asahantastan ninadam avipetur udayudaha. Translation. O hero Vidura, the greatly powerful heroes of the Yakshas, unable to tolerate the resounding vibration of the conch shell of Dhruva Maharaja, came forth from their city with weapons and attacked Dhruva. So the greatly powerful heroes of the Yakshas, unable to tolerate the resounding vibration of the conch shell of Dhruva Maharaja, came forth from the city with weapons and attacked Dhruva Maharaja. So naturally, any attack is there, naturally the guardians of the city, they will come to protect. So here the Yakshas, they don't like that sound of Dhruva Maharaja, the conch shell sound. So conch shell is considered to be very auspicious. So these ghostly creatures, they don't like such a vibration of conch. So they came out and they want to attack Dhruva Maharaja with weapons. Satanapatato vira ugradanva maharatah ekaikam yugapad sarvan aham bhanaistribir tribihi. Dhruva Maharaja, who was a great charioteer and certainly a great bowman also, immediately began to kill them by simultaneously discharging arrows 3 at a time. So Dhruva Maharaja also, he was a great fighter, great bowman. So he immediately began to kill them all by simultaneously discharging 3 arrows. So he discharged 3 arrows and he killed the Yakshas. Te vai lalata laganai lagnaistair ishubhihi sarva evahi matva nirastamatmanam asamshan karmatasya tat asamsan karmatasya tat. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. When the heroes of the Yakshas saw that all their heads were being thus threatened by Dhruva Maharaja, they could very easily understand their awkward position and they concluded that they would certainly be defeated. But as heroes, they lauded the action of Dhruva. When the heroes of the Yakshas saw that all their heads were being thus threatened by Dhruva Maharaja, they could very easily understand their awkward position and they concluded that they would certainly be defeated. But as heroes, they lauded the action of Dhruva. So here, Dhruva Maharaja's heroic activities is appreciated by these Yakshas. So it is natural. One sportsman is appreciating the activities of another sportsman. Nowadays, cricket is there. One country is appreciating the activities of another country sportsman. So it is sportive. So Dhruva Maharaja's heroic activities is appreciated by the Yakshas. This spirit of fighting in a sporting attitude is very significant in this verse. The Yakshas were severely attacked. Dhruva Maharaja was their enemy, but still upon witnessing the wonderful heroic acts of Maharaja Dhruva, they were very pleased with him. This straightforward appreciation of an enemy's prowess is a characteristic of real Kshatriya spirit. So it is a very fighting spirit that we have to appreciate the abilities of others also. So tepi chamum amrushyatah padasparsham vivoragaha saraira vidyan yugapad dvigunan prachikirshava. Tepi chamum amrushyantah padasparshan vivoragaha saraira vidyan yugapad dvigunam prachikirshava. Just like serpents who cannot tolerate being trampled upon by anyone's feet, the Yakshas, being intolerant of the wonderful prowess of Dhruva Maharaja, threw twice as many arrows, 6 from each of their soldiers, and they mixed, and this they very valiantly and exhibited their prowess. So even the Yakshas also very powerful beings. So they attacked Dhruva Maharaja with 6 arrows from each of the soldiers. So Dhruva Maharaja alone, but Yakshas are many. So Dhruva Maharaja is alone managing these Yakshas. Tataha pariga nistrimshaihi prasasula parasvadaihi shaktis vristibir bhushundibi chitravajaihi sarairapi abhyavarsan prakutipitaha saratam sahasaratim ichantastat pratikartum ayutanam trayodasha. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Yaksha soldiers were 130,000 strong, all greatly angry and all desiring to defeat the wonderful activities of Dhruva Maharaja. With full strength they showered upon Maharaja Dhruva along with his chariot and charioteer various types of feathered arrows, parigas, iron bulgions, nistrimshas, swords, rasasulas, tridents, parashvadas, lances, saktis, spikes, ristis, spears and bhushundi weapons. So Yaksha soldiers, they were 130,000 strong people. So they are all very angry and they are decided to defeat Dhruva Maharaja. So Dhruva Maharaja is alone along with his chariot driver, and only 2 people are there. So he alone is fighting this 130,000 soldiers. So such is the power of this Dhruva Maharaj. So with full strength they showered upon Dhruva along with his chariot and charioteer various types of feathered arrows. So they are putting lot of arrows, feathered arrows and iron bulgions, swords, tridents, lances, spikes, spears, bhushundi weapons, so many things they are throwing at Dhruva Maharaja. Dhruva Maharaja is alone fighting. Uttanapadihi satada Shastravarshena bhurina na eva drushyatachanna asarena yatagirihi Uttanapadihi satada Shastravarshena bhurina na eva drushyatachanna asarena yatagirihi. Translation and purport history one verses Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Dhruva Maharaja was completely covered by an incessant shower of weapons, just as a mountain is covered by incessant rainfall. Dhruva Maharaja was completely covered by an incessant shower of weapons, just as a mountain is covered by incessant rainfall. So many people are attacking. Dhruva Maharaja is alone, he is fighting. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura points out in this connection that although Dhruva Maharaja was covered by the incessant arrows of the enemy, this does not mean that he succumbed in the battle. The example of a mountain's peaks being covered by incessant rain is just suitable for when a mountain is covered by incessant rain. All dirty things are washed from the body of the mountain. Similarly, the incessant shower of arrows from the enemy gave Dhruva Maharaja new vigor to fight them, defeat them. In other words, whatever incompetency he might have had was washed away. So Dhruva Maharaja even though he is attacked with arrows, he will fight back now. He finds a great challenge. He enjoys it, and he will fight back now. Ahakaras tadaivasit siddhanam divi pashyatam hatoyam manavaha suryo magnaha punya janarnave. Translation of Purport history one verses Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All the Siddhas from the higher planetary systems were observing the fight from the sky, and when they saw that Dhruva Maharaja had been covered by the incessant arrows of the enemy, they roared tumultuously. The grandson of Manu, Dhruva, is now lost. They cried that Dhruva Maharaja was just like the sun, and that now he had set within the ocean of the Yakshas. So there are Siddhas, there are higher living entities like Siddhas. They live in higher planetary system. We are observing this fight from the sky. When they saw that Dhruva Maharaja had been covered by the arrows of the enemy, they roared tumultuously. So they all become concerned about the Dhruva Maharaja. So they all roared tumultuously from the sky by seeing Dhruva Maharaja. The grandson of Swayambhuva Manu Dhruva is now lost. That's what they are saying. He is son of Uttanapada and the grandson of Maharaja Swayambhuva Manu. and they thinking that he is lost. They cried that Dhruva Maharaja was just like the sun and that now he had set within the ocean of the Yakshas. So they are all worried that Dhruva Maharaja is died now, or is lost in the ocean of Yakshas. So Yakshas were 1,30,000, Dhruva Maharaja is alone. So how can fight? So they thought that he is died now. In this verse, the word Manava is very significant. Generally, this word is used to mean human being. Dhruva Maharaja is also described here as Manava. Not only is Dhruva Maharaja a descendant of Manu, but all human society descends from Manu. According to Vedic civilization, Manu is a lawgiver. Even today, Hindus in India follow the laws given by Manu. Everyone, therefore, in human society is a Manava, a descendant from Manu. But Dhruva Maharaja is a distinguished Manava because he is a great devotee. So all the societies, all the living entities in this world, human beings in this world are descendant from Manu. So that's why we are called Manavas. So Dhruva Maharaja is also descendant of Manu, and all the society, human society is descendant of Manu. We have Manu Samhita, which is given to human beings. Even today in Hindus, they follow these laws given by Manu. Of course, there are so many changes has happened. People are not giving any respect to this Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita has been burnt in many places all over the world, in India especially. So Manu Samhita is neglected now. Nobody follows Manu Samhita. Therefore, in human society is a Manava, a descendant from Manu. But Dhruva Maharaj is a distinguished Manava because he is a great devotee. The denizens of the planet Siddhaloka, where the residents can fly in the sky without airplanes, were anxious over Dhruva Maharaja's welfare in this battlefield. Sri Rupa Goswami says, therefore, that not only is a devotee well protected by the Supreme Lord, but all the demigods and even ordinary man are anxious for his security and safety. The comparison given here that Dhruva Maharaja appeared to merge in the ocean of the Yakshas is also significant. When the sun sets on the horizon, it appears that the sun roams in the ocean, but actually the sun has no difficulty. Similarly, although Dhruva appeared to drown in the ocean of the Yakshas, he had no difficulty as the sun rises again in due course at the end of night. So Dhruva Maharaja, although he might have been in difficulty because after all it was a fight, and in any fighting activities there are reverses, that did not mean that he was defeated.